Good morning, and welcome to Your Business in Digital. I am Tamara Louise, super excited to be here to talk to you about how do you translate what you're doing in your business right now? How do you translate that to digital, right? How do you make sure that you have all the moving parts to get to that place of money in the bank? That's why we do this show, Your Business in Digital. It's all about you, your business in digital. Lucky for me, I am always here with these amazing subject matter experts. And you know what they bring to the table? They bring to the table the full business solution, right? We have finance, we have sales and pricing, and we have operations and marketing. We connect all the dots for you and your business and really help you translate how to move through your business in digital. And today we're talking about platforms and channels. We know how important they are in our business, these social media platforms, how they drive revenue, these digital marketing platforms, what they do for us, especially around the holiday season. So before we jump into the show, I'm going to pass it over to Andrea to kick it off and introduce herself, tell the people who you are, what you do, and then we'll go through all the other experts. Happy Wednesday.
Good morning, everyone. I am Andrea Raghu, your virtual CFO. I help you take your business from a liability to an asset so that your business becomes a blessing and not a burden. I help you do that by managing your finances and making better financial decisions for your business. Welcome to the show.
Happy Wednesday, all. I am Michelle Gordon with Lanyap Digital Consulting. I am here to help relieve your sales and pricing concerns. We at Lanyap help to find your revenue blind spots, to find that little something extra in your business to help you to bring that revenue in the top line in a consistent, sustainable way so that you're here for the long haul. Happy Wednesday again. Welcome in. Thank you for investing this time into us.
And good morning, everyone. I am Michael Wilshire, Director of Business Development and Sales at Monovan Digital. And we're always here to help you navigate the challenging digital landscape, driving revenue for your business and measuring results at every step of the way. Thanks for joining us this morning.
All right, guys. So, you know what? Monday, we were talking about these platforms and channels and all the craziness that was happening, right? We talked a little bit about Elon. We talked about Meta. We talked about Elon, Mark. We talked about all the people. So today we're going to continue the conversation because we get it, right? We're in Q4. We're at that time and people want more practical solutions. They want to understand, how can I utilize these tools to drive me revenue? If there's drama happening, what's happening in that space, how does it impact my business? What should I be doing so that you get to that money in the bank, right? That's what we want to do here for you at Your Business in Digital. And so we are looking at some articles from social media today. So Mike, I'm going to kick it over to you to kind of walk us through our first article and let's jump into the conversation.
All right. So as you said, on Monday, we talked about everybody, right? We were having a ball talking Elon, talking Mark Zuckerberg, and so on. So before we get into the article, it's interesting enough, the first article on social media today, that's where we're looking at. The first article on social media today is Twitter previews no new official gray check mark as it prepares to launch its $8 verification plan. So that's an $8 a month verification plan that gives you a separate check mark rather than the normal blue check mark we're all accustomed to as verified. You're going to get another gray check mark, but you're going to pay $8 a month for it, right? And it's not going to be able to be seen unless somebody actually goes to your profile. So it's not really going to be seen on the tweets anyway, unless you go the whole ball, right? So that's it.
Wait, no, you can't just drop that and we're like, oh.
It was supposed to be an extra tidbit, but just to say that it continues. You want to get into it a little bit?
They're asking me to give away $8 a month is what I'm hearing. Finance is like, we're not doing that.
Correct. And that's basically what the article ends at. It's your $8, so you can decide how you want to spend it if you want that $8 a month verification. So Twitter continues to be embroiled in change, and we'll see if it's beneficial or if it's detrimental, right?
Right about now, I'm in the,
we are just all here for the Elon Musk show, right?
Yeah.
So, but getting into it, we started on Monday talking about 32 predictions for 2023. It looked at all the major platforms. So there were some platforms we didn't get to. So I want to start back with LinkedIn. LinkedIn Tomorrow, I'm going to kick this back to you when I'm finished this introduction. But LinkedIn definitely as a platform for professionals, as a platform for service-based businesses, and so continues to show its merit, right? So what are they saying about LinkedIn, and what are they predicting for LinkedIn in 2023? In LinkedIn, you're looking at improved video connection tools. Like all the platforms, LinkedIn is also seeing more people consuming more video content on the app. So you can expect that LinkedIn is going to add more video tools, expanding its intro video and video chat features. As well, there's a bigger focus on audio, our favorite thing. Along similar lines, it's the best place to host professional audio events and make them a bigger focus for professional engagement. And LinkedIn has been developing its audio rooms over the past year, and we can expect it to look at a ramped up option and provide more ongoing professional and niche content within the app. And the last thing on LinkedIn is they're looking at a feed presentation update. So it's been a while since they've updated the look and feel of their app. And with video becoming a bigger focus, we can expect to see LinkedIn adding new elements to better highlight video content in the app. They threw in a what if here. What if LinkedIn added a full screen video tab in variants to the main feed? And that may better align with evolving consumption trends, while it would also enable LinkedIn users to better showcase creators, which is another key focus in the app. Here, the article is saying that they suspect that LinkedIn TV could become a thing, while it could also look to highlight podcasts and other elements in their own dedicated spaces. So that's a lot of good stuff I'm hearing, like just from LinkedIn. So Tamara, I'll kick it back to you. LinkedIn as part of our strategy.
Oh my gosh, that's a hell of a wish list. So I'm going to go with my opinion first, and then I'll go as a digital marketer after, just to mix it up a little bit. What I'd love to hear on that list is more data, right? So I get the impact of LinkedIn. We all get it, right? This is one of the platforms that we're broadcasting across, but I'd love a little bit more data to understand, outside of just running ads, to understand what exactly is happening. What do these impressions mean? Just a little bit more in depth. The other social media platforms do a better job of that, right? We know the type of data that we get from Instagram, from Facebook. So I think that's important to me. So that's my opinion. But I love everything else that they're thinking about, right? I love everything else that they're doing, because we have made a pivot from just Clubhouse to making LinkedIn our main focus, right? Well, let's say we're running this across LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, and we're looking at expanding to other platforms and channels. So we are definitely seeing the benefit. I think we've all talked about it since we've been running this show. We're seeing more people checking out our profiles, more relevant people coming to us. I mean, a lot more people are trying to sell me stuff as well too. So I get a lot of that. But I definitely feel as though I'm connecting with more people. More people are seeing the content, and it's giving us that visibility that we talk about. So I like I love the idea of giving video a little bit more visibility. I think that could only be amazing. Funny enough, the LinkedIn audio now kind of has me thinking maybe we can do specific events that are just LinkedIn audio events, right? I played around with it in the beginning, but because we gotten so accustomed to Clubhouse and the recordings, which we still leverage, right? As we were talking the other day, LinkedIn audio not being recorded, or, in a place where you can utilize it after, becomes a little bit hard, right? You get a little bit spoiled and you're like, well, I'm producing this content, I should be able to do something with it. So if they solve for that problem, I don't see why not. I think audio is a great way to go. It's easy for people to join. And, so I like what I'm hearing, but more data would be, if they throw in more data in there, that'd be the icing on the cake.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. LinkedIn, so let's talk about that audio piece first, just for a second, just unpack that audio piece. We have seen a big gain in terms of audio, in terms of showing up live. It gets us over that hump a lot of times if you're not ready to be on video or on camera, let's say. But we've seen significant gains based on that engagement of doing live audio. And as you said, that's a big problem that they need to address, of having that replay, because of course we are now behaviorally on-demand consumers, right? I will register for things, I will sign up for events, but I ultimately, want to watch it on my own time unless there's a big draw for me to be there actually live, right? So thoughts on this, both Michelle, Andrea?
I've got lots of thoughts on this one. Yeah, because there's something to be said. One, I'll start where Tamara started with opinion on the data. Considering LinkedIn's audience, I'm floored that they've not figured out the data component just yet, because it's a professional place. We live and die by statistics and make decisions based upon more than just the likes. They want some proof in what they're saying. So I'm hopeful that they're coming through with some information that will put that on the table, because they're also coming after our money with asking for ad money. They're trying to sell ads there. What I love about what they're doing is they leaned in finally and said, "Oh, I see you. I see you, YouTube. TikTok, I know you're trying to come after my professional people. Oh, by the way, I hear about podcasts too. You want to be able to just hear me and not see me." So they're listening to what their audience is saying, the voice of the people and what they're saying, and they're trying to meet us where we are and to be competitive in the professional space, because they are aware that those spaces know that, especially the TikToks of the world, that it's not just for teenagers or college age people trying to find a new place and a new home for social things. They're going after professionals. They find that that's a place and a demographic that's worth their while. Their people are there and there's money to be made. So I'm glad that they're listening in on that. And the video and the audio component, they're saying, "Hello, YouTube. I know that this is a space that you're going after. You've said it, not just long form, but you're giving short form, and I do too," is what they're saying. But they're falling behind, and they've got to figure out the repeat and the replay, because as you said, Michael, the on-demand nature of how we are, we want that accessibility, and we can find that somewhere else. So step up to the plate, give us what the people want, or they're at risk to still fall short, because they're people in traditional places, because we now find YouTube to be a traditional space for professional people that give us what we want in long form, short form, replay, and we can listen as audio. So I'm just saying, LinkedIn, step up. We like it. We're here, but step up.
Yeah, I'm there with Michelle. Like, as a LinkedIn user, I've seen a lot of growth on the platform, and LinkedIn is where I truly believe people like me belong, the professionals and the people, and not just professionals like accountants, lawyers, service providers. I've actually seen recently, I started following someone. He's a tradesman, and he's based in the United States, and I see him posting about how the US has a lack of, he's trying to promote trade jobs and trying to promote this as a very viable option for persons. You don't have to become a doctor and a lawyer, etc. And he's actually pointing to statistics. And I just found his content really interesting for this type of platform, right? So it's really a platform just for business, for people that want to consume serious content. I mean, when you go on Facebook and Instagram, yes, there are business pages, but then there's also the nonsense pages. So you go onto your feed and you're bombarded with both the funny stuff and the serious stuff. And not all the time, maybe do you want to mix those things. So for me, for example, if I go onto social media and I go onto my personal page, yeah, that's where I'm there for all the giggles, right? But the view that's on my business page, that's where I consume my fellow business people's content, because I've curated my feed to show me to follow those people. So LinkedIn is that app, that platform that allows you to always look at business and just be in that frame of mind. Now, yes, there are some people that do that whole mix of education and and content. Love it. What do you call it? Edutainment or whatever. Very nice. But the whole point is, it's just a platform that's there for you to do business. And I think it's a great place for people like us. And these things that they're looking to do, I support it, because the audio, yeah, that all on demand scenario. At my recently concluded workshop, just for people to book, they were asking, is a replay going to be available? They're already telling me that they're not going to be, they want to come, but they're not going to be available, right? So, or they're already planning to not be there and asking for a replay. And I haven't even done the workshop yet. And I'm like, but oh my God, can you make it or not? Right? So it's just, it's our innate nature to, we want to attend, what is fear of missing out? We have the FOMO, we don't want to miss out. But at the same time, I want to be able to see it on my own time. So I think if LinkedIn fixed that issue of being able to, get the audio back on demand, that will really be fixing a really major bug there.
People are saying they just want, give me options. Give me options, serve it up to me any way I want to have it. Give it to me and let me have options. And they're going to the places that's affording them the options. So LinkedIn will get there.
Yeah, agreed. And, if we're looking at a business, I think also for the holiday season, right, as we kind of get back to Q4 and LinkedIn is that space where you get to really build community, right? LinkedIn is a space where you get to understand your target audience because people are telling you exactly who they are. They're telling you their job descriptions. They're telling you, you can gauge how much they're paid. You can kind of probably gauge their age because they're sometimes celebrating certain events. So there's a lot of demographic information that you can gain from LinkedIn. I know a lot of businesses always think, hey, let's think about Instagram, let's think about Facebook first, but you may really want to consider, how do I tap into an audience that's telling me exactly who they are, what they do, how much money they make. That is key demographic information. And if we were to bring that back to Andrea, for instance, if we were to come to you and say, hey, we're running a digital marketing campaign, the first part of the campaign is to build the audience, leveraging a tool like LinkedIn, some of their paid elements, some of their free elements, and drive in those right people right away, you are probably a little bit more open to spending that money because you see this is the target, right? What are your thoughts there?
No, yeah, definitely. If you, as a business, if you come to me and say, okay, I want to run these ads on this particular LinkedIn as a platform, I feel a bit more comfortable because that is the space for serious consideration of your business, right? So as opposed to the Instagram and Facebook, again, like I say, it's mixed up with everybody else. It's in the middle of a laughing video, and it's in the middle of all the other nonsense content. How are you really going to pierce through and find your customer? Whereas if you tell me LinkedIn, I know the moment somebody comes on this platform, they're coming because they either want to learn something about a business, they either want to do business with a business, or they're generally about developing themselves. So the frame of mind is already, okay, I'm in a serious space. So maybe the ad dollars might be better spent, on a platform like LinkedIn.
Woo. All right, Mike.
and amidst all of that, I had to, kind of throw a little monkey wrench in. So at the start of that article, actually, and this is something I want to dive into with LinkedIn. The network has recorded record levels of engagement this year, but it seems to include more and more non-professional posts and updates, which is good for LinkedIn or not, but where does it draw a line? So how are you looking at LinkedIn for your business? Are you looking at it primarily as the HR tool for your business and talent sourcing, or are you looking at it from a lead generation perspective? And two very different perspectives of the same platform, right? LinkedIn puts out a lot of content in terms of its major focus always is guiding you in your career path. So as Tamara said, yes, what other platform are you going to know exactly who the people are and what they do and where they sit? But that is a little variation in the platform where, in terms of when we're talking from that marketing perspective, you're using it more for lead generation. So there's definite opportunity there. But what do you think of that trend now where we're seeing more and more non-professional content?
I mean, I think it's inevitable, right? We're, as much as we're running, we're running the show on LinkedIn, and we are looking at this as professional content. The other day, I posted a picture of me on a horse on LinkedIn because people still want to know who you are behind the business. So as we are pushing this content, we get to do two things. We're on video, so we get to show our personalities a little bit more. People kind of, we of course, throughout the shows, we've had some interesting jokes, right? So we hear a little bit more, and then we get to lean into those those parts of our personality on LinkedIn. So I think it's okay, it's fine. But it's that balance, right? What percentage of the time are you spending on LinkedIn talking about the personal stuff, and how does it connect back to the business? So it's a little bit of get to know me, because that's an important factor in the business and building community. It's people need to know a little bit about you, right? They need to know a little bit about, what are you doing? What are you working on? What are some of the things you're just interested in? And then they can connect with you on another level. And then they've already checked out your profile. They get to know you a little bit. Because as we are looking at, if we're thinking offline and we're thinking about connecting with someone, we get to know them, right? This is like Michelle's lane. She's a salesperson. She gets to know a little bit about their kids. She gets to know a little bit about their family, that extended information, a bit more information about that person before you sell to them, so that hey, this person is my ideal, and here's some of the things that we have in common that I can start or kickstart a conversation. So I think a lot of that personal content allows for that. It allows them to get to know the business owner a little bit more, as well as you get to know that potential customer a little bit more. So I think it's a great thing. And we have to keep in mind, it's still a social media platform, right? So it's not that it's not a social media platform. So, the business pages are great, running ads are great, but it's still a social media platform.
I think that, we need some music, because that was horn-worthy, right?
No.
Oh, you got So yes, that's LinkedIn, and there's probably more, but so lots to consider with LinkedIn. Professional platform. We definitely all feel that, definitely underutilized a lot of the time, and a lot of potential for lead generation, as we're talking about, and for your marketing strategy. So that takes us, we're going to take a mention of next predictions for 2023. We can't not talk about TikTok, right? TikTok is just there. So let's talk about TikTok. So as per the article, it's the trending app at the moment, but arguably the most controversial, not because of its content, but because of its linkage to the Chinese government, which, perceived or not, continues to keep the political scrutiny high on the app. So in 2023, they're saying that could once again come to a head, which will force TikTok to more clearly separate its data from the Chinese government, which could lead to various problems for the app. Could it actually be banned in the US and other regions? That seems like a real possibility, particularly as China continues to grapple with other governments. That's a big one. So, Tamara?
Woo-wee. Oh man. Okay. So again, it's always the idea of, what I feel versus what is real. What is the data saying? So I'm gonna go with what the data is saying. I don't know that we can get people to, I don't know that you can ban the app. People are hooked, right? I think, yeah, there's definitely some issue there around data, China, all that. So I think we have to look to see. I think we will possibly see regulation, right? We're seeing regulation with a lot of the US companies now. So right now we're in the middle of an election, right? That's why I'm so tired. Last night I was up like, what's happening? What's happening in America? So I think we will see some regulation. I think we'll see some stuff happen, but we cannot deny it. TikTok is the place to be, and people want to be there, and they're integrating e-commerce a little bit more. So how do we now take the app and make everyone remove that from your phone? I don't see it happening. So controversial, of course, but I think definitely something important. But now we have to also look at what's happening with YouTube Shorts and what's happening with Reels, and if they make traction in those arenas. Again, I don't know. TikTok is rapidly growing, so it's a crapshoot. It's definitely a catch-22. Definitely a place that you should be. We all need to be there a little bit more, but we will see what happens. But again, it comes back to, I think the American companies somewhere along the lines may end up with the competitive advantage, because it's China is a little bit, sketch right now.
Well, I was just going to add, so from a business and operational perspective, we're talking data security, right? So if I've put a lot into my TikTok campaign as part of, gaining followers, gaining information, gaining data, do I need to look down the road? I need to keep my eye on this because that's my customers, that's my audiences now. And if on a on the global front it says, TikTok, it's actually proven data went this way and not this way. You, the business owner, has to answer for that right now, right? So that's the real issue.
I'm so conflicted in this, and that I think Monday, Tamara, I think you said again, American company. We have to remember who the audience is, and TikTok started somewhere else, and there's a huge international contingency that loves TikTok, leads with TikTok, enjoys TikTok. That being said, one of the things that we learned, and to put just politics on the table for a business reason, there were a lot of lessons learned from our elections in 2020. And that has thrown some things on the table that went global, some things that we are now pulling back on and saying, did we not regulate Facebook enough? Did we not regulate Twitter enough? And how did it change our worlds? And do we want to get into that space again with TikTok? And so I think that's why that regulation component is going to be key. And we might find that some governments are going to say, hell yes, you can stay around, but hell yes, we're going to put some handcuffs on you and some kind of way to control what's going on. You don't get to play around here the way that you want to. We're going to limit some things. And then I think there will be a viral movement against it if they don't do right. And again, it's China. It's China. We had a few issues here in the United States with China right about now. So I think that there's going to be some concern there, but it is a viral movement. Freedom of speech is one thing, but when we start talking about data security, I think as a business owner, that's something that we have to take seriously. We have to take seriously. So are you betting your entire business on one platform? And what are you doing to control your audience, your communication and your relationship with your audience outside of any one of these platforms so that you can maintain your business and keep it thriving and striving in the midst of whatever environment that we have going on and whatever regulations are out there. So, and you don't have to dance either, people. We really just don't have to dance, sing, none of that in these spaces, okay? We just don't.
I love it. I love it. We don't have to dance. We don't have to dance. I love it. I don't dance, and I would not. I would not. But I think what all this points to, two things. One thing, it points to obviously not putting all your eggs in one basket, the age-old saying, right? So if as a business owner, you have your business on these various apps, it just echoes what we've always been saying, what Tamara's always been saying. You don't own these apps, go back to your website, go back to your email marketing, make sure, because in the event of anything, now we always talk about, in the event of if it crashes and whatnot, but now we're seeing in the event that it's outlawed in your territory, you need to be able to know how you could pivot from that. So it's clearly pointing and supporting the old saying of not all your eggs in one basket. Yes, these apps are nice and fun for your business, and you could it gets your business out there, but also have in the back of your mind what your plan is in the event that you could no longer use the app. The second thing is for where I am, where based in the Caribbean, how this is impacting us now is that we usually wait and see what's happening in America, right? That's what we do. We wait and see what's happening in America, and then whatever happens there, whatever goes on there, America says ban it, and then just like dominoes, you start to see our smaller territories who don't have enough power. We just eventually fall in line and say, well, okay, and then you start to see regulations come. Whatever America says, you start to see it making its way, into our various Caribbean states in some form or the other. I could see for Caribbean people, I could see things like if America starts to regulate and say, I don't know, federal employees aren't allowed to have this app on their phones. So I'm sure they probably already have something like that. They probably regulate what you could use your device for. then American companies based here in Trinidad, then right, the all the American companies here, you may find that they may have to bring that rule here. So then your audience, so our Trinidadian workers who are based in who are working for these American companies will now be subject to that behavior and to that regulation. So you will now have to watch your audience and say, okay, how much of my audience is being impacted by this? So for where we are in the Caribbean, I could say, we just it's a wait and see what happens in these larger territories. Who says do what, and then you'll just eventually see the impact of that. But it's definitely something that we need to keep an eye on.
Oh man, whew, there's that super smart conversation here. I love that this morning. And Andrea, that makes a lot of sense. We should be keeping an eye on it. And I think you also mentioned it, right? America sets the tone. So Dana is saying, social media is rented space. Choose wisely and decide how you want to use each space. Thank you for this comment. Is off of LinkedIn. Super excited about that. It is rented space. You should absolutely choose wisely. And that's the caution here, right? It's not that we're saying that any of these platforms are good, bad, or indifferent. If it's driving you revenue, great. But you want to come back to focus to understand, okay, how am I going to pivot? Where else? No eggs, what is it, Andrea? Do not put all your eggs in one basket. I'm like, no eggs in the basket. Put
Don't put all. Don't put all.
Don't put all the eggs in the basket, right? So, and we know, of course, as businesses, right? You get on there, you put one video up and it just goes and goes and goes. So you're getting the engagement, but you have to get to a place where you're thinking, okay, how do I get to collecting their email address and moving them down your funnel? The funnel, all the platforms could be here. We could do whatever we want with them, but the funnel becomes really, really important in these situations. Where are you driving them to? How do you get them back to your space where you can engage with them and have a deeper conversation? So that's my TikTok. That's my TikTok talk. Could we TikTok that?
We probably could. But that's not all for TikTok. So really good insights from everybody on the panel. But let's go one step further as far as what we can expect from TikTok, the platform. So in China, what has been very successful and a key earner in the Chinese version of the app is live stream commerce and shops. So what they're saying is that looking to next year, you might see in-stream shops, which will make their way to TikTok in various forms. So that adds another dimension as well, especially if you're in the B2C space, because this is now an in-shop ad, in-shop profile in the feed. And that has had great success in China. So that may also pull more people, North Americans, to the app at the same time while the app is up in the air politically, right? So something to look for, that in-stream live shops.
The more opportunities you get to showcase your product and services, amazing, right? The live shopping is something that we're going to see across all these platforms and channels. It's all going to be social media QVC on steroids. No, the QVC did it first.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, well, QVC's been doing it for years, so
Right.
why not join the party?
You're right. So that's what it's going to be, right? So every app is going to do it. And you know how we're going to get to a place where it's like too much, because if as a business owner, if you think about it, right, you use your apps in a very different way. You might pop into one app to check for something. You might pop into another app to search something. You might pop into another app to laugh at something, right? So you're not necessarily using all your apps to purchase. And so you may start learning about things. You may start building some engagement. So that could become a lot. So pick your poison, understand your customer. This comes back to target audience, no matter what, right? No matter what the platform does, it comes back to your target audience. And we were talking about this on Monday. There's an age difference, right? There's definitely people who say, hey, I can buy on the app and I feel really comfortable buying on the app. I want to click that button and buy. But there's some people, it's kind of like, hey, I want to come to what looks like a secure space, feel comfortable, come to your website because I want to verify before I put in my card. So, and some people are using wallets. So different things are happening. And I think it's definitely an audience thing around that. So I think it's going to be that same idea. Who's your target audience? And are they the people who are just ready to push the button? Have they been trained in that behavior? Because we're not all trained in that behavior. And that's what happens with social media, right? We start off, using it, and then we see other behaviors and we start adopting that behavior. So have all of our target audience been trained to push and buy on the spot, or do they feel the need to step into that comfortable space before they're like, oh, I can take out my credit card, and connect it and give it to you. Now, some people may have their credit cards just connected to their computer, connected to their wallets, and they're ready to make the purchase. But we're not all in that stage. And I guarantee you, right, all our customers are not in that stage.
And let me tell you what's frightening of all of that, because it's a good thing because we have this immediacy that we want to be able to instant shop. Let me buy, let me do this. But we go back to security on the other side. One of the conversations I think it's important to have is, let me move this up. This is the echo reason. One of the things that we've had is maybe 2 or 3 months ago, we talked about how one of the hotel divisions that we in the hospitality space in hotels, their website was shut down for days because of hacking. So in many a corporate world that we sit in, how many of us had to go through a number of security trainings because of that, and how to look out for hacking and what to do and what not to do? So I'm, and have been for a while, extra cautious about what I click on, and I'll go to a verified site first before clicking a link because I'm distrusting. I just don't trust. So from a salesperson, a business owner perspective, I love the let me show you what's there. I'm going to do the know, like, trust, get you to the place where you're visually buying, and I've captured you, and click to buy because I want that immediate response, that instantaneous thing. Let me capture it because I'm fearing missing out if I don't take advantage of this right now. But the other side of me says, well, hold up, do I know you? Do I trust you enough to give you my credit card information and put myself and my personal stuff at risk? How much do I trust this? So there is a weight, a balancing act that we have to do and be cognizant of with this.
Andrea, this is a great comment, and I think I'm blocking your face as I put it out, but Dana is saying here again, in the Caribbean also, we have other considerations in terms of the integration and ease of converting to payments from these social media platforms. So I totally agree with Tamara and Andrea. In our region, it is critically important how easily you can get them into your funnels and into your own spaces, like your email lists, et cetera, et cetera. Oh man, thank you for this comment that just blocks out the rest of our team, but it was really a good comment. So Andrea,
that's data for you. Yep, that's data for you. Data is Miss Joy and Dana. She has her own life as well. She's the CEO, so she has CEO conversations.
Love that.
But what she touched on there as well also speaks to our Caribbean diaspora. That instantaneous want to buy, we actually don't have it, right? We still suffer with lack of credit cards and that sort of thing. I still have people who, although I put up an option, pay for this via credit card, go to my PayPal account and pay me, they're still asking for a bank account to transfer because they don't have a credit card, right? We still have that in our diaspora. So that whole concept of giving out our credit card information, we have to deal with that. Our business owners here in the Caribbean, Trinidad in particular, we still have to deal with that aspect to get them over that hurdle, right? So just recently, I think I read an article, there was some kind of hacking issue with one of our conglomerates here. I think it happened in Jamaica, but of course it filters down throughout, right? And I think it was the same corporate that they had a hack in Jamaica. I won't call the name of the corporate because I don't have all my facts, but I believe they had a hack in Jamaica and they also had a hack here in Trinidad some months ago, right? So you find people like, oh, they start to get very wary. You see, that's because we give them a card, give them a thing. So we still, so all the more reason why our businesses here in the Caribbean, our funnel probably has to go more along the route of what Michelle is saying, like trust, because we are not so trusting to just put an app on our phone and just go and buy. That's not our diaspora. Maybe there are small segments of it, the various, the younger ones that are coming up are more Amazon and that kind of thing. But we still have the people that, listen, I want to take my time and learn about you before I could give you my money. And when I say give you my money, transfer the money to her. So, so like I said, that whole, click instant to buy, I'm not sure for businesses here in our Caribbean diaspora, we need to be mindful that that strategy may not work for us.
I am fumbling with the mutes and unmutes. I was like, wait, what? No, this unmuted, this didn't unmute. So yes, that great points all, definitely. So moving right along into the platforms, we're talking YouTube next. So YouTube connected TV viewing or watching on your home TV has been the fastest growing usage category for YouTube. And YouTube Shorts has been the fastest growing content format. So it makes sense for them to combine them both. And YouTube has launched a new Shorts experience for your home TV, which will present Shorts in a full screen interactive format. That's the important part, interactive format on your larger viewing device. They give a visual example and it will appear basically in the middle of your screen, but you'll be able to interact with it via your TV remote, enabling you to select topics, select topic tags, skip through, and more. YouTube said it conducted various user tests to establish that best presentation format with the intention of building an experience that maintained the essence of Shorts in a new way. So as per YouTube, they're saying that it was important that the Shorts experience on TV felt consistent with what the community sees on mobile and also natural on the bigger screen. The advantage of displaying Shorts on the bigger screen, of course, is that more people can tune in at once, which changes the process and can help to better engage even more users via YouTube's TV alternative options. Also, with YouTube also adding ads in Shorts, that could open up new opportunities for brands to reach engaged audiences via YouTube's CTV process. The rise of video on demand services more broadly has been a key shift, and really most younger users don't watch traditional TV channels at all anymore, and most far more aligned to YouTube and content creators and apps along with Netflix, Disney, etc. So that's what's coming up, and predictions, well, that's not even a prediction, that's what's happening right now on YouTube. So great opportunity there. I know earlier in the year and last year, we talked about that connected TV option and that people are viewing these things on larger devices, more comfortable settings. It lends to how you're developing your content so that you can develop your own ads, basically. That's what we're saying here. You can develop your own ads via Shorts, right? So let's get your thoughts on that from everybody.
Oh my goodness. I'm just going to jump in here because, YouTube. So we're running this show across YouTube as well. And actually this week where YouTube is, first of all, let's just say YouTube is search. It's search. People search. When they search, YouTube comes up. Google owns YouTube. So we're dealing with Google, right? So that's really important to understand. And I think it's definitely a space for your business. You want to consider being in that space. So we are working on taking your business in digital show that we're doing and creating those into YouTube Shorts, right? We're working with, who are we working with? We're working with Juma to get that done. So for those of you that know Juma is going to be chopping up these videos for us. And we see value in really going after specific keywords and showing up on YouTube. So that's number one. That's how we really get to the people that don't know us, that are putting in keywords that find us. So we did a great exercise in that this week. So there's absolute value in YouTube. The connected TV piece. I mean, there are days when I'm sitting down and I'm like I call it my education days, right? I am on the University of YouTube figuring out what's new with Facebook ads, what's new with this, who are my favorite content creators. I have my list of people and I watch YouTube on my TV all the time. I move things from my phone to my TV, and just because it's a bigger, better screen, and I do want to just kind of kick back and relax. So I love, love, love YouTube connected TV. I mean, they have so many other things going on as well too. The reason we're running this show on YouTube as well, and this is gonna allow us to pick up the viewership on YouTube, is because YouTube is now moving into podcasting. So we can actually start moving these over into the podcasting segment. And all you're doing as a business when you spend time in YouTube is building your real estate in search and getting people who don't know your brand, who are searching for your product or your service, to find you, and start engaging with you. Because think about when you put in keywords in Google and a YouTube video pops up, you start automatically engaging. If it's the right content, if it's what you're searching for, you start binging, right? You start going through that process and you start getting to know that person, building a relationship with that person, right? So that's where you really net out. And I think YouTube, YouTube for president, Google for president. I'm not saying that. I love me some YouTube. I love me some Google. So, and I just wanted to kick in one other point here. Dana's still with us, and she's saying that she listens to us speak. She sees the generational conversation, buyer behavior of Gen Z versus millennials versus Gen X, and she's absolutely loving the conversation. So we love that you love it. We love your comments. I can't wait to jump back into LinkedIn, which we'll do after, and just kind of respond, because this is the type of engagement that we're looking for, right? But yeah, YouTube is 100% where you want to be. If you are a business, consider YouTube, consider, even if it's a slow grind, right? Every video that you do, put it in YouTube, link back to it, put your keywords in there. You don't have to have 50 videos. You don't have to have a million of them. Every time you do a video, you take it, you put it in YouTube, you figure out what's the short version of it, because those shorts are really going the distance. It gives a lot of visibility. It gets a lot of visibility and people are watching it. So that's my 99 cents.
Let me tell you, the day I really leaned into YouTube on TV, there are some days that's all I watch. There are, I run the gamut. I will listen to podcasts. What was traditional podcasts that I listened to, I started viewing, because there are some podcasters that I follow that are now broadcasting, visually. I watch there. I love that it does for a business some things that we don't realize as a consumer, their own version of a For You. They're serving up curated content based upon what you have been watching. So it's farther down the funnel. It's giving in, you're not dismissing as much, because it's giving you additional things that you've expressed interest on. It allows you to save, so that you have playlists that you can save to a different group, so that you can align things with where you want it to be. If you see something in the middle of watching something else, you can hit watch later. So save me later for me to get to. I swear, if I could get a larger TV and have a touch screen, I'd be the person that'd be like, oh, you want to give me a short that I can interact in? Let me press that button and move me into that space. Because we buy with our eyes, we interact. That emotional component is what, as a person, we're leaning into and we're buying into it. So as a business, the voice of your customer, they're telling you what they want, they're telling you where they're going to go and what they need. And YouTube, again, aligned with Google, is smart enough to say, oh, the data says this is what you want. Let me serve it up to you in the way that you say you want to consume it, on small device, medium device. If you want big movie-like things, let me serve that up to you as well. And I'm all for it. As a person that's looking from a sales and pricing perspective, the organic version of that, where you don't have to pay, but get that audience and get the consumer that you want and the data aligned with it. Oh my Lord, that is just a fantastic place to be. And business, personal, you got me. You got me, YouTube. Come on.
And before Andrea goes, I just want to add in from that operational perspective. I like YouTube from that top of content creation side, right? So you're getting video, you're getting audio, you're going to get shorts, you're going to get clips, you got a description that can be turned into a newsletter, a blog article. So it's a nice top of funnel from the perspective of your content creation as well. You know,
interaction, Michael, too. Remember, you can, especially if you're live, you can interact with your community there. Leave comments. The comments you can see later on for interaction, so you can go back to read. There, it invites conversation and community building post live shows. I enjoy that you can, I have looked at something that's 2-3 years old, and I start looking, I'm fascinated by the comment. People, the activity a very long time later, it remains there as long as you have it in that space. So worthy content, longevity is there for you, consistency, sustainability, all those things that we mentioned at top of hour are there in that space. And when you're powered by Google, that's going to serve it up for you.
That's the key. Powered by Google. Powered by Google. So yes, definitely from that content creation perspective, and as well, so from that financial perspective, as you mentioned, Juma, you may want to look at, you know, so do you do that heavy lifting? We can talk about a lot of different programs that we use, Animoto, Kapwing, all of those things, to get this content cut and placed. So it may be worth your while to look at that. What's your return based on farming this out to somebody else, where you're just doing that video, but you understand that the video is now going to be passed out in this way, right? So that's how it looks up from that operational seat. And I know Andrea is nodding here, so I'm going to kick it over to see what she's saying from that financial side.
Oh, I love it actually, because as a business owner, this is where I am trying to exist. And I am going through this phase of creating the videos and creating this presence on YouTube, because it is really such a versatile place to be. As a consumer, I've used it. I've found a lot of relevance in getting videos on it. And even like my grandmother has the TV on YouTube whole day. She watches recipes. She's always trying to learn something new. And I might go back and say, Granny, what is this you make? Oh, I saw that on YouTube. And she's trying it, and she had, trying different recipes and all kind of things. And when I go and I look, she is playing YouTube all day, right? And she's just watching video after video, and that's what she's doing. And she's in her 90s, right? And she's doing that, right? My mother-in-law, the same way, they're watching, and it's very easy for them to, I guess, just scroll and watch. I think my mother-in-law looks at it on her phone. She might look at it on her phone and stuff, but it's such a versatile place because they're doing that, and we're here pumping, our dollars and efforts into putting the content there to be served up, as Michelle said, to this wider audience. And I think it's a very versatile place to be. I can say I myself, as a business owner, I am trying to build that platform for myself, create my channel, and just send everything there, because we're living in a very bingeable society where I can tell you, me personally, if I want to learn about something and I'm in the mood to learn about it, okay, let me find the topic. I may watch 2-3 videos, one after the other, because I'm in the space for it and whatnot. And as Michelle said, I've watched just the day before, I was looking to do something I could not remember to do on Excel. And I just went on video on YouTube, found a video, and it was like 5 years old. But it was still very relevant, right? It didn't matter. I was like, oh, it's an old video. And I found myself looking at it and being captivated by it. So I think it's from a financial perspective as well. That's where your money works for you, because you're telling me that you did this thing 5 years ago and this could possibly bring in revenue for you. Come on. CFO approved.
The gift that keeps on giving. It is not Elon, it is YouTube. It is Google, right? Because I love that you hit that point. That's exactly what I was like trying to come up with me to say. I'm like, Andrew's stealing points out of my brain. Get out of my brain. But that is so right. And you can actually take a video and you can make updates to it. You can make updates to the description. You can make that video more relevant. So yeah, YouTube is definitely the gift that keeps on giving for relevant content. And what you hit on here is actually the demographic. Look at that, right? Your grandmother is using it it. Your mother-in-law is using it. Like people are, so it's huge across any generation. And also what I find is when I'm in Trinidad, a lot of people are using YouTube as well for to play music. They use YouTube. You're like, oh, where's that mix from? Oh, YouTube. So they use YouTube all the time. So YouTube is huge internationally as well. So I think, I really love that, being able to have that scope of conversation to understand which of these platforms are more US centric, as well as which of these platforms are a little bit more international, and how are they using them internationally, because they use them a little bit different at times. But there's a lot of viability in YouTube for your business as a small business, because the content lives on and on and on. If Andrea's watching something that was 5 years old that still gave her information that got her to do what she needed to get done, I mean, right away, you're in that space where you trust that person a little bit more, right? So, Michelle, I love the fact that you're kind of like, I love that you said, lead me into the video, right? Because I want to press a button and I want to be in there, So there's a lot of opportunity. So I say to customers all the time, spend time on those videos. You're creating videos anyway, get them in YouTube, create a channel, put the video up, add a description. A year from now, you could have those 50 videos and you were like, oh man, I just did this occasionally. Put them up, get them there. People will find you. Make sure you understand the search words that you're looking for. Don't make the search words up. Go look at other videos like yours. This is a tip right here. Look at other videos like yours. Look at their descriptions. Look at what they're ranking for. Look at who's showing up first, second. Look at the age of their video. Look at all those things and leverage that in order to use the right keywords. YouTube is a gold mine for your business, and the content lives on and on and on. I said that enough.
Horns. That's all I can say now. Horns. So we're just nearly at the top of the hour. I'm glad that you made that comparison between North America versus Caribbean. So this last one is going to be interesting. Meta outlines new overview of how to utilize WhatsApp for business. As Mark Zuckerberg says, most people now use feeds to discover content and use messaging for deeper connections. So in line with this, businesses also need to reconsider their approach, which may point to new opportunities for WhatsApp messaging within your process. They put out a video that explains, the different elements of the app when using it for business, and that could become more significant. So they're looking at bringing more utility to the WhatsApp platform through business messaging efforts, because we know that consumers, what they're saying, they know consumers like to connect with businesses via messaging. We've seen that be a very good source of utility and value for customers, and it's all extremely valuable for businesses. So they're building more tools into the WhatsApp business platform to enable that. But at the top of the article, it's really saying that it's seeing big growth in North American usage. And, to be specific, we're not going to say Caribbean, but in Trinidad, we had already seen where WhatsApp was a key part of a lot of business strategy in terms of using that WhatsApp feature. And long before, in some cases, WhatsApp had a WhatsApp business platform, right? So, but North America is now on the train. So Mark is deciding to put some money and effort behind it. That's all I'm going to say.
So shady. Leave Mark alone. We like him now. 2022, just a few more months. I don't know what's going to happen in 2023, but I feel for him now. This is the first time I felt something. But listen, we have clients in Trinidad, and every time we've run ads, I know that WhatsApp has had to be a part of the social media strategy. I consider it a social media platform. When you watch the usage, when we look at the connection internationally, so it's not just Trinidad, right? This is how I now connect to Moret. I don't know if you're watching, but she's probably in Dubai somewhere, or Saudi Arabia. I think she's back in Dubai hanging out now. But we started our friendship on Clubhouse, built a relationship, and then we moved our conversation to WhatsApp, where I'll probably be talking to her in an hour or two. And And then from there, that's how we communicate. We've done work, we've shared things back and forth. So we've built and established, and we're actually working on a business venture, her hotel marketing space. So all of that conversation was really from Clubhouse to WhatsApp, now to us doing YouTube, doing LinkedIn Lives together, and again, building a relationship and taking business forward. So that's not Trinidad. That's like all over the world. She was in a lot of places as it happened, but it really shows that this platform has been an international platform for a very long time. And so now that we're seeing, when you're running ads on Facebook, you can now have those ads pop up in WhatsApp, open in WhatsApp, start a conversation, maybe set a bot to answer specific questions or say specific things. Hi, how are you? So there could be some automation that's connected to that as well too. And then, you move the conversation down your funnel some which way somehow, but the behavior is there. It makes sense. It's encrypted. I think WhatsApp is really probably the gold mine of Meta that we may not have been paying attention to, because we're really focused on Facebook and Instagram. And here is this solution that is internationally. If you are traveling anywhere, everybody will tell you the first thing they do is they download WhatsApp. If they are in North America and they hadn't been using it, if you're traveling anywhere, you download WhatsApp. It's free connect calls. That's how I connect with my team. Mike and I are on WhatsApp a million times a day. Everything happens on WhatsApp. It is a huge social media platform internationally, and I think it could be game changing and revenue driving. So for your business, you want to consider, what does that look like? There are a lot of features around groups. As you're looking at your business, you want to think about community, and this could be a good place to do it. But you may have to have resources, or you may need to consider some automation to loop into that. So I know we're at 8:02, so I'm not going to soapbox too much.
And I'm just going to add just a statistic to that. So it's worth noting that Meta has reported a significant increase in usage of its click to WhatsApp ads. And in terms of numbers, it's an 80% year-on-year increase.
That's all you have to save was money for Mark Zuckerberg. He's got to find a way to make up that ad money from somewhere, and this is an avenue for it, so he's going to invest there. Money.
So that brings us to the top of the hour.
Well, Andrea has something to say about WhatsApp. We can't.
Sorry, Andrea, go, please.
Oh, WhatsApp. So yes, you're right. Here in Trinidad, you know that WhatsApp is where a lot of businesses live, much for some people, the liking or disliking, because, we focus. So a lot happens in the chat. For me personally, I prefer, depending on where I am in a business transaction, I prefer a little more formal communication at some point. But there are whole businesses that are living on WhatsApp. I'm actually one of the businesses I follow. I think I'm part of her group, and she would post updates in the group, and she's using the feature itself, the marketplace feature. So she's saying, okay, if you want to purchase, go in the market and select, and it's taking you through the process. You're seeing price, you're seeing description. She's getting all that out there, and it really is a fascinating tool. So it whether you like it or not, or if you feel like how I feel, maybe at some point it's a bit much. Because in my space in particular, as a service provider, you could interact with me initially, but of course I like to take you into when you get formal with me, I put you in an email and we start to communicate on a more formal basis, because we're talking your service and your accounting and that sort of thing. But for retail businesses, I could see, yes, it's a total game changer. Whole transactions are happening right there. You click to purchase, you pay, you organize right there what time you want to pick up, deliver, or whatever. So it's really working out here for us in Trinidad. And I guess in the wider Caribbean as well, but definitely something that it's for a lot of small businesses here in Trinidad, it has been a lifesaver for them.
Absolutely, especially during the pandemic. You guys, Trinidad, the Caribbean really leaned into WhatsApp to get the business done, right? To get the deliveries done, because there was a lot of that. And that was the step to the move to digital in the Caribbean, because as Dana mentioned, right, there's the payment situation is not the greatest payment situation. It's not an easy situation, but that connection, meet here, pick up, deposit in bank accounts, all of that stuff can happen. We literally had worked with a lawyer in Trinidad about a week and a half ago. We got the bank account information, we made the payment, everything happened. We got the things that we needed to get done. So a lot of that transaction happened over a phone call and then a few text messages back and forth. So it's definitely getting it done. And I think if you are a business, you might want to consider that. How could you utilize that? And how do you get people into maybe a group that makes sense, where you're providing information and building community if you are not ready to take the next step with making transactions? But I know we're at 8:05. So I'm going to wrap up. This show was awesome. Awesome. Dana, thank you so much for joining us. For everyone that is on Clubhouse, thank you for joining us. This was really us talking about how do you utilize these platforms and these channels that you're on? How do you consider them as they're going through all the madness, right? There's full scrutiny on a lot of them. But if you're utilizing them for your business, where do you lean into? What's important for you to focus on so that you continue to achieve your business goals, right? So really take a step back, understand if the platform is right for you, understand how much revenue you're making on the platform. Make sure that you're not, putting all your eggs in one basket. You want to look at these platforms or these rented spaces, which I love that Dana talked about. How do you utilize these tools in order to drive them to your space, in order to drive them through your funnel? Because your funnel matters, right? All these platforms and channels, they're great, but your funnel is the thing that matters. You have to get people to a space where they get to connect with you, build trust with you, and grow with you. What Dana is saying here, some of her clients without a website who are in the product space, she advises them to use WhatsApp. It's like having an e-commerce website, and it's a great start for businesses. So you really want to think about all these platforms and channels. What we're doing here at Your Business in Digital is really helping you consider and translate your business into digital, because we understand that it's not easy, right? It's not easy as a business owner to think about what are all the things that I need to do in digital. And what we've been able to do is we've been able to pull together the ideal team, right? This is the kumbaya, the perfect marriage. We talk about it being a little bit of polygamy of finance, sales, marketing, and operations, right? So I'm going to pass it over to my finance guru to introduce herself, then to our sales and pricing guru, then to our operations guru to introduce themselves, and we will get out of here. Go for it, Andrea.
All right, everyone. I'm Andrea Ragu, your virtual CFO for your business. I help you take your business from being a liability to an asset so that it becomes a blessing and not a burden. And how do I do that? I help you manage your finances and make better financial decisions for your business. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Hello again. I am Michelle Gordon with Lanyap Digital Consulting. I am here to help to relieve you of your pricing and sales pain, help you to find and discover, remove your revenue blind spots so that revenue can come into your business in a consistent and sustainable way so that you're here for the long haul. Thank you for joining us. Go back and listen to the replays. We're in all of these spaces of finding where you are and meeting your clients where they need to be. And come and listen to us every Monday and Wednesday. We're here covering great topics for your business in digital. Thank you again.
And I'm Michael Wilshire. You can always drop me a line at michael@monovandigital.com and find me everywhere Monovan Digital is. Thanks for joining us this morning. As Michelle said, join us every Monday and Wednesday where we're talking your business in digital, and check out the replays. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Oh man, guys, happy Wednesday. This is Your Business in Digital, where we help you translate your business into digital. We understand that it could be daunting, right? It's not easy. You have your business to run. So check us out on a Monday and Wednesday where we get to talk to you about how to do that and how to get it back to the money in the bank, because it's really about the bottom line, right? It's not about the likes, not about the follows. How do you get to that bottom line of revenue in the bank? Have an amazing Wednesday, and we will see you next Monday. Andrea, I hear you're out on vacation on Monday, so we will see you. We will see you next week. Have a great time. Take care, guys. Bye.